We thank you for staying tuned. It is still the conversation here on Lagos Television. And on this side, we'll be discussing a critical topic. Lagos, Africa's most populous city, is known for its bustling economy and dynamic growth. You have a lot of people trooping into the state daily. But with over 20 million residents, traffic congestion continues to be a pressing challenge, costing valuable time and productivity. Now, amidst these urban pressures, the state's network of waterways offers a promising alternative, which is water transportation. But how well are we fully utilizing this? How well are we harnessing this water transportation? Joining us on the conversation today is the General Manager, Lagos State Waterways Authority, Oluwadamilola Emmanuel. You're welcome to the conversation.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
And also with us here is Captain Claudus Afoton. I hope I got that right. He's recently retired after 28 years of service with LASWA. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, man.
All right, let's jump right into the conversation. Now, with the current, what's the current state of water transportation here in Lagos, and how integral is it to the overall transportation master plan of Lagos?
Well, it's thriving, and the reason why I say so is because, as you know, Lagos now is planning its transportation in an integrated way, where it's no longer just the road transportation, it's also now rail and water transportation. So the state government is actively developing the necessary infrastructure, both for rail and water. And we're seeing a lot more people now also considering these alternatives because, of course, it has a lot of benefits in terms of time saving, which is very important for people in Lagos. You want to get to your destination much quicker. So I see it and I say that it's currently thriving. There's a lot more that needs to be done, which is why the state government is also seeking investment into the sector. And we have foreign investment, which is coming up very soon in that area.
Now, you said a lot of people are embracing this, but safety is a major concern. There are still some people that I know that will never want to travel by water. I have done once, and it was an okay experience, although I had... But anyway, now safety is a major concern. And then how does LASWA ensure passenger safety?
First of all, let's establish the facts. In the whole of Nigeria, out of 36 states, Lagos State is #1 in terms of safety. Over the years, we've built the safety system, and the state government has ensured that all the necessary safety systems are in place. And how have we done this? One, we have increased the personnel who ensure that people adhere to safety and that safety is improved on the waterways. Secondly, we've also deployed technology to be able to track real-time issues around safety and emergency. We've also equipped search and rescue units and also improved the response times in terms of emergency. And of course, we've gone to the foundation of this all by ensuring that even the current boats, there's a biannual inspection now which is carried out for those boats to ensure that we know exactly what is going on. Anyone whose boat has any question marks has to make sure they sort out their boats before they are allowed to operate again. So these are some of the measures we put in place, which has now ranked Lagos as #1 in terms of water transportation safety in Nigeria. And that's why other states are now coming to Lagos to say, hey, how do we learn and how do we do this? Because at the end of the day, we want to ensure there's also interstate travel on the waterways.
I would like you to also break it down again. So how often is this routine checks?
So there's biannual inspection, which means it's twice a year.
Twice a year, okay.
Yes, which is twice a year. And apart from that as well, we carry out spontaneous checks as well, because when we get any reports, we also move to action, because we don't just rely on the fact that it's when they are meant to bring it in. We also rely on, feedback from passengers, feedback from users. Have you noticed anything? Please let us know. We go after the operators.
You also do you also do this for the private?
Absolutely. This is all for the private. All for the private and public, because the public is just Lagos Ferry Services, but the private are the majority. So we carry this out mainly for the private.
So weather condition is also another issue, since we're still talking about safety, especially now that the rains are here. So what are the safety measures put in place during the seasons?
Well, during the season, which is why we have those safety officers. The safety officers always have to stop boats from moving if the weather conditions are not favorable. And Lagos State is now taking it a step further, where we're now about to collaborate with NIMET. NIMET are the ones who, dictate and who predict the weather, who ensure that we're aware of different weather conditions. And with that partnership, it will now even make it much, much easier that everyone has access to the information, and we can then truly begin to track, what the weather conditions are like, and then we can predict, even travel time on the waterway. But currently now, the personnel ensure that if the weather is not favorable, the boats don't leave the jetty.
Okay, let me come to Captain now, who served over 28 years in service with LASWA. What are some of the safety practices that helped you while you were in service?
Thank you very much. You say concerning safety, since I was absorbed into Lagos State Ferry Services, then quarterly they do integrate us into kind of a training. So from there, we gather one or two experiences. From there, we put it into action so that it will not be disaster or whatsoever.
Okay, your experience now for new boat operators, what are the common mistakes that you have seen that new boat operators fall into?
So the little mistake, some of the captains driving those boats, some of them maybe lack of experience. So from there, anything can happen. And at the same time, when we go out for operation or patrol like that, we do caution them so that they will not fall victim of kind of a thing.
All right. Let me come back to you, GM. So you've called, according to reports that I saw, you've called for introduction of non-fossil fuel boat engines. Can you tell us more about this?
Well, as you know, fossil fuel engines, obviously because of the removal of the fuel subsidy, has really become an issue because, as these prices, as the fuel subsidy was removed, it caused a hike in the prices. So, which is why even on the roads, the buses, we're now about to start seeing electric and even CNG buses. So it's only natural that even the rail lines now are using non-fossil fuels for some of their transmission systems. So it's only natural that we as well on the waterways also go in that line. We've opened up conversations with PCNGI. We've also opened up conversations with other private sector players to see how we can also introduce this for our current ferries. We've not started using them yet, but we started the conversations with them.
At what stage are we on now when you look at?
Well, right now we're still in, I'll say we're still at the, basically the research stage to discover how best to ensure that, there's sustainability. We don't want to start it and then we can't, because you also have to think about, do we have enough of those resources that would enable the sustainability of this non-fossil fuels?
Yes. Pros and the cons.
Absolutely. That's what we're trying to do. So, and obviously we're benchmarking the road transportation. So we're going to learn from how the road has been able to successfully execute it. How well, and the same people who are helping with the road are also the people who are also going to help with the water, because the same transmission system. It's just that it means that it's just different modes, but it's the same transmission system.
We also have the informal and small-scale boat operators now. When we finally move or transition, how do you intend to engage them?
Well, the good thing about it is that in recent times we've gotten them to form cooperatives, so it's much easier to engage them now. No, we're no longer engaging individual operators. So. As we deal with the cooperatives now, we're dealing with them more holistically, and it's easy for government to support them in that way.
All right, let's talk about boat operators now. They get a license, do they? So how often do you monitor? How often do they get their licenses reviewed? Is it once you get it, you've gotten it once and for all?
No, once you get it, of course, every 2 years. Yes, mainly 2 years. It basically alternates, but mainly 2 years. Every 2 years there has to be a review, because we have to see how well you've been doing. Do you have any penalties, any fines? Are there any issues?
Who finds them?
We find them as well. Yeah.
Oh, so what are some of these?
I mean, some of them, life jackets. You don't have enough life jackets. fuel finishes on your on your boats. You know, some of these things that, you know, people take, you know, carelessly for granted, which should not be the case. For us on the waterways, a carrot and a stick approach. We enforce, and at the same time, we also provide necessary tools that they need, but we must also enforce. So it's a carrot and a stick approach with the operators, between the regulator and the operators.
Okay, let me come to you, Baba. So in your experience over the years, what are some of the things that you have seen that the state government has done that has helped water transportation progress in Lagos? And what are some of the things that you think can be done to better improve it?
Thank you. Lagos State really tried a lot for water transportation. So mostly because boat moving from one place to another without any inch. So that's mainly, Lagos State try a lot. That is why they have the marine guide at the jetty. Because if your boat is not good enough, the marine guide at the jetty, they will not allow the boat to move. And if there's any complaint about your engine or whatsoever, maybe you misbehave when we are going along the way, because those marine guards will not be with you. But when you get to the other jetty, if there's a complaint there, from there you'll be the driver or the captain will be apprehended. And Lagos State are trying a lot so that it's such a kind of a thing will not happen.
Okay, let me come back to you, GM, now. Now, technology has really transformed basically all sectors. So how well are we harnessing this? And then is there a medium where, how do you get feedback from commuters?
Well, fantastic. Like I said, we've used technology to be able to begin to gather real-time data. We have the first of its kind in sub-Saharan Africa, a waterways monitoring and data management system that enables us have no real-time. How many passengers are berthing at the jetty? How many boats are berthed at this jetty? You know, when you have data, you can make informed decisions. Data enables you to be able to make informed decisions. So it's helping us to be able to, of course, in the area of data, we now have, of course, the cowrie card, which you use on the rail, use on the water, and also use on the bus as well. So these systems, you know, and even now also as well with technology, we're able to also view real time what's going on at our jetties. Also as well, from this waterways control room, we're able to see real time what's really going on at the jetties, and how well, you know, are boats faring, and how well is water transportation even faring. So these are some of the measures, and of course now even with drones, there are drones which are able to monitor real time activities around some of these jetties.
So how do you get feedback now?
So now in terms of, so you can either call in or you can either send an email. We actually have a CRM platform that has been set up, which is a customer relationship management platform, where you can actually send an email or send your comments back to, or you call the emergency line, which are linked as well to the control room.
An emergency response time?
Well, 5 to 7 minutes.
Okay, now let's look at how the ferry terminals are constructed. Are they accessible for people living with disabilities, for the elderly? Well,
I'll not say, well, if we were to say maybe 30% of them are, that's because it's something that the state government is now looking, because you have to remember a lot of these jetties were built over 30 years ago, a long time ago, with all of this not being factored in. But where we're living in today, in this day and age now, the state government is now incorporating that. We even have an agency which is also focused on ensuring that, you know, wherever facilities and infrastructure are placed, they are making a case for you must take care of those people living with disabilities. So now I would say with all the current designs of the jetty, this is something that's factored in. But with the existing ones, I know about 20 to 30% of them now can accommodate those living with disabilities.
How does the LASWA deal with environmental pollution? We know we have pollution on the waterways, and how is that coming up?
Well, the first thing I want to say is that we need to stop littering the road, because for every litter you drop on the road, it finds its way into the drainages, and from the drainages, it goes into the lagoon and goes into the waterways. So we have to really, really stop littering our roads, because that way water has no dirt of its own. All of the dirt you see on water is coming from land. So one of the things we're doing is working with the Ministry of Environment, because they are the ones who are able to help us enforce and ensure that people reduce the littering. And of course, we are one of those who are very happy about the ban on the single use plastic. I mean, we will be very, very happy, because sometimes these things can stay up to 50 years, 60 years on the waterways, and they cause a real menace. They affect the aesthetics of the waterways. They affect the health of the fishes, because imagine fishes who have eaten plastics.
And then we still eat these fishes.
So for us, we work with the Ministry of Environment to ensure we can curb pollution. And of course, if we then transition to non-fossil fuel engines as well, we'll help be able to bring down the environmental pollution as well.
All right, let's now look at the maintenance practices for terminals and water transport infrastructure.
Well, one, like I said, we carry out the biannual inspection, but we also, of course, encourage boat operators by carrying out trainings. I know the captain mentioned a lot of trainings we introduce.
How often are
these trainings are, I say, once every quarter we try to introduce, and we do in partnership with private companies. For example, a Yamaha, who provide, who majority, 95% of the boat engines are Yamaha. They also get involved to provide boat engines. They provide life jackets where possible. But the training, we believe, is very, very important, because you must keep training and retraining yourself, especially with modern practices. So these are some of the ways we're able to, help with our maintenance in Lagos State.
Are there some infrastructural challenges that LASWA is experiencing, and how are you going about it?
Well, there will always be challenges, but I believe that challenges provide opportunity for you to either improve on things, or for you to find an innovative way to be able to handle things. I mean, there will always be issues around infrastructure, because you always never have enough resources, but you have to make sure you maximize your resources, utilize those resources, while still considering the fact that, look, this is a mode of transportation which you want a lot more people to get more comfortable with.
Security is an important issue that we cannot overlook, especially when it has to do with water transportation. There are issues of piracy. I don't know if we have that in Lagos. So what is LASWA also doing to assure commuters that while they are commuting on the waterways, they are secure?
Yeah. So LASWA is focused on safety, but LASWA works with the Marine Police and the Navy. Marine Police and the Navy oversee security of the inland waterways. But because we have oversight as well, we relate information on a constant basis. And we're glad, because of the control room, it's much easier, to monitor things real time, as opposed to getting one boat which is going to go the entire expanse of the inland waterways, trying to say you are providing security information. With technology now, you can monitor it much quicker, much faster, more efficient. And with this, and from all the information we gather, basically we do information gathering. We send this information over to the Marine Police and the Navy, and then they can respond much quicker in case of any kind of threats. But so far, I mean, in the past, I'll say 30, 40 years, there's hardly been any issue of piracy in Lagos inland waterways. If there's ever been any kidnap, it's been an inside job, or inside, I mean, it was planned. It was probably planned and scared for. So we not had that kind of, but of course, we don't want to be reactive. Lagos State wants to always be proactive. So we currently work with the Marine Police and the Navy.
Okay, let me come to you again, Captain. What has been your experience like, as a captain on Lagos Waterways? Just take us through some experiences that you've had, and how did you navigate them?
Well, I could remember one day we have a project at Eco Atlantic. So we have been going every day. But that day when we are going, we have to pass through East Mo. Along the land, there was a storm. And the weather was not friendly. And the sea was so turbulent. To the extent the cameraman that was with me then said, "Egbon, let us both go back." And the feasibility was not okay. I say, please, let us go. Because one, we are 3 in number, the senior captain that I'll be going there. The first one has gone, I came back. The second one has gone, I came back. I thinking with me myself, why will I go back and not complain, accomplish my duty? So as we are going, that day, I fell 3 times from the steering.
You fell?
Fell down because of the wave and the storm. I have to manage. When we got there, we did all what we wanted to do. And we came back to the office successfully. Had it been that maybe I did not summon courage or I don't have that, but though I know it's not my power, it's God's wish. So we went successfully and we came back.
That must be an experience that you will never forget in your life. And that also comes with a lot of experience, because an inexperienced hand will not be able to handle that. And that leads me now to my question. He said there was a storm because the weather was okay when you launched in.
Yes.
So how trained are the boat operators now for situations like this that are unforeseen? So how trained are they assuring Lagos residents again while they're on the waterways? So in case something like this happens, what are you saying to Lagosians to assure them that they are secure and will get to their destination safely? Yeah,
I think this is something that over the last couple of years we've been working actively on to ensure that all of the captains and deckhands, have the required knowledge and the training for this kind of situation, because this is something that we're always going to face. You can't avoid it, so we must plan for it. So most of the training that has been ongoing has been around how do you deal in terms of how do you face different emergency situations or different unforeseen circumstances. This is mainly what the captains and deckhands are being trained on. Is there room for more? Of course, most definitely. I will not deny that fact. But these are the current realities that we train all of the captains and the deckhands from anytime there's any training around emergency survival techniques, around technology, the new advance of technology in terms of how they can relate to technology, how to use technology to be able to monitor with things, and of course communication. Right now, between the control room and our boats, you have real-time communication. So if there's any emergency, it's very, very easy for you to contact the control room so that we can get help to you as soon as possible.
I know there are also divers around.
Yes, local divers, work with local divers, that's what are the first responders. But then we also have a search and rescue team, 2 teams, which are also made up of divers as well.
So these divers, do they get like a stipend, or it's just service to
allowance?
humanity?
I mean, they're an allowance, yeah. They have an emergency allowance.
So do I have to know how to swim before I decide to use the boat?
Well, not necessarily, but swimming definitely helps. That's
it's a life skill.
It's a life skill. And one of the things we also try to promote now is a swimming culture in Lagos State. We've not started with the adults. We started with with the kids, because we feel like the older you are, the harder it is for you to want to learn how to swim. But with the kids, we started to take this, to public schools, because private schools is part of their curriculum. They swim. They have swimming pool, but the public schools don't have access to it. So we're trying to now we train in a certain number every year, but we hope to be able to ramp that up more, because for us, we don't feel it's enough what we're doing. But it's something that we started to push the narrative that a lot more encourage the youth to learn how to swim, because it gives you confidence even when you're using the waterways.
So what areas have you covered? Are you this training, is it going to go through all the 20 local governments?
Yeah, so right now we've only been to about 5. We've been to 5 local governments. We hope to go to more local governments, but now we've only been to 5 local governments.
I want you to talk about how important that's for Lagos residents, and how important is it to ensure that you use your life jacket while going on board?
One, life jacket is very important to wear when you are on board. But some people, just like somebody going from home to office, you put on your dress, you wear socks, and you did not wear your shoe. That is proper dressing. So just like you wear life jacket, the rules and guide that applies to it, you don't apply it, which means directly you are not wearing life jacket. To you may say you wear life jacket, but you are not wearing. The buckle, the zip,
You must.
You must fasten it. And if you don't fasten it, because the reason why they say you should fasten it in case of emergency is that life jacket will afloat you. If you don't wear the life jacket properly, the water itself will remove the life jacket from you. So that is it.
It's very important. So for commuters that might not want to, like for instance, okay, we know that you must put on a life jacket before you get on board, and so they just put it on and decide not to buckle. Are the boat operators, what's the English word to use now? Are they obligated to, ask that passenger to go off board?
Well, prior to now, they used to, but realized that wasn't enough by just being able to tell them. So we're now trying to put it in the law that where a passenger has not worn his life jacket or fails to wear his life jacket also attracts a penalty as well.
On whose part?
On the part of the passenger.
Oh.
And not just because the operator will definitely be penalized. But where you as an operator have done your best to say, look, passenger, wear your life jacket, but the passenger then refuses, you see that we have to then make sure that we go beyond just penalizing the operator. The passenger too has to bear consequence.
So how do you hold the passenger now? Because is it that the boat operator tells the passenger you can't come on board? So
yes, that's part of the measures they can. But when you have a passenger who forces his way through, when you get there, then you have to. Then it's going to go beyond that as well to say, hey, well, you're not going to get on my boat, and we'll report you to the regulator.
So have you had cases where you find passengers?
Not yet. No, that's what I said. It's being put into the law now, okay, because it was not in the law before, and so there's nothing to be able to ensure that we can enforce it with. But at the end of the day, you should take care of your own safety. You should be responsible enough to know that, look, I need to wear this life jacket. A few incidents we've had, unfortunately, we commiserate with those who lost their lives. We realized that the life jackets were not, they just wore them, but they refused to buckle them, and they were meant to buckle them, or they said, oh, no, I'm telling, and then, that's what happens. So in case of emergency, if it's well buckled, it will not go off.
Because some people might not even be aware that you must buckle them.
That
you just feel that once you
what happens is that even before they get on the boat, the personnel informs you, wear your life jackets, buckle your life jacket. In fact, when you're walking down, we don't even allow people walk down the jetty if you've not buckled your life jackets.
So this will lead me to my next question now. Awareness. I mean, this should be even something that you should tell someone because it's about your safety. Absolutely. But again, awareness, people need to know because people act based on the knowledge that they have. So how is this going towards ensuring that people really are educated about the essence of putting on and buckling the life jacket?
Well, every year we won, and even right now we're about to start again. We donate life jackets. The state government, His Excellency, Mr. Babajide Olusola ensures that we purchase life jackets every year. And those life jackets are distributed across different stakeholders, operators, passengers. So we go to different strategic points. Even when we receive from the private sector, we also do, which is why I said it's a carrot and a stick approach. After having done that, we then enforce because there's no reason whatsoever. Because even those life jackets you are meant to provide as an operator, you should provide them. But we know life jackets expire. We know sometimes,
they expire.
They expire. Oh. Yes. And sometimes I say economics. I say, okay, the economy is not, we support by giving those life jackets as well when we can, So we do a lot of sensation awareness, but what we do is we go to the jetties to ensure that we carry out sensation for the operators and the passengers at the jetties at different points in time in the year.
Okay, as we wrap up now, what message would you have or would you give to Lagosians who are still hesitant about using the waterways?
Well, Lagos State has continued to improve the safety of the waterways. I want to encourage you to try the waterways. Please make your observations. We want to continue to improve the system and make sure we're getting better at it. But just to let you know that, the state government continues to ensure that the necessary infrastructure that is needed for the water transportation system is being built and will continue to be built.
Water transportation offers a lifeline, not just to decongest traffic, but to redefine how we move, trade, and live. I have traveled on water just once, and I hope to do it again. Thank you so much, General Manager, Lagos State Waterways Authority, Oluwadamilola Emmanuel, for your time here on the conversation.
Thank you so much.
Also, Captain Claudius Afoton. Thank you so much for your time on the conversation. We have talked about Lagos Waterways Transportation. The conversation continues. Stay with us.